So the world's gone mad at the moment with these Epstein files. Um, but there's something that just, that sticks out a mile, um, if you excuse the pun, to me and well, to us that we were talking about. Um, so, and we were talking about, this kind of started when we were talking about a friend of yours who is very vain and he cannot stand any hair on the body. And you were working out in the gym with him years ago, and he insisted that you should shave the tiny bit of hair that you've got on your chest, and that kind of got me to think about the culture that we live in and how twisted it is. I remember I was doing an intervention at the London Fashion Week a few years ago, and I saw this photographer, and he was taking photos of this girl who looked like she was about 14, right? Very, very thin, very, very young looking. And I couldn't understand what the attraction was. And then, so there was that. And then there's this whole idea that women should be shaving their pubic hairs, and how crazy that is. And then there's also an idea that I've talked about maybe occasionally. I'm not sure if I've talked about it in this podcast series, but the music business where people talk about "you're my baby," right? And so I wanted to just invite you to relate to that in terms of Jeffrey Epstein and what's being said about him.
Yeah, it's crazy. They've primed people basically over the generations. I mean, in my day, going back to the 80s and beyond, before, if you looked at porn, you can still do this. You can look historically and get old copies of Mayfair or Playboy, and they've all got pubic hair. Hair is just natural. The women are natural. Now, over generations since that time, they've tuned everybody into prepubescent or pubescent. Every woman now is shaved, no hair down below. Unnatural. Pubescent, prepubescent, no hair. That's the sign of a woman coming into maturity. She's got pubic hair. Same for a guy. Why shave it off? Because they've tuned you to look for younger women. Now, Epstein now is called chetophobia, body hair phobia, a phobia against body hair. If you go into any gym, I was a member of a gym, David Lloyd, and I trained with a group of guys, and they were completely phobic. They were suffering from this condition, chetophobia. They don't want no hair, no chest hair. You must be waxed. I've got hair. See, my chest is hairy. I'm just normal. I'm natural. I've got not excessive body hair, but I've got body hair. I've got chest hair like most males would be if they passed puberty.
I've got loads of body
You've
hair.
got loads.
Yeah.
So we were saying, he's a friend of mine, this guy. He's a Middle Eastern guy, and this was the one who was really heavy on it. I mean, all of them will wax their body, all of them. They're all grown men, and they all wax their body. They made a point of talking about it in the gym, in the changing room. That's what they used to talk about. They look in the mirror. Wow, what do you use? And one of them said Imac. They said, oh no, I go and get waxed every week or every month. I go and get a good waxing. This is grown men meant to be alphas. Muscular guys in the gym, you'd think they're macho men. No, they're like gays. They're like homosexuals. They're completely obsessed with the way they look, completely vain like peacocks. You see, completely unmanly, ridiculous, really, mad. But this is what the culture has tuned. This is what is developed. This is what is groomed. They've all been groomed. Everybody's been groomed into this now. Any young guy will identify with this. Go and try to pick up a girl now with body hair and see what happens. Because they've been tuned. The girls have been tuned to see guys with six-pack abs, all shiny bodies, all prepubescent, no hair in sight, chest all waxed, arms all waxed, legs all waxed. That's these guys. They used to wax their legs. Oh my God. They wax their legs. They can't bear to have their legs hairy. They've waxed the top half, so now you've got to wax the bottom half. So when you're wearing your shorts, it doesn't look odd. So you have to wax your whole body. Your whole body has to be waxed clean, completely shiny. And I used to go and I take my t-shirt off and I've got body. And then you hear the gasps from them. What you got to get the chest hair off. You got to get your chest hair. I said, sorry, what are you talking about? You got to get your chest hair. Ridiculous. Now, the same for the guys. See, they want the women all waxed up below. They don't want to see pubic hair. Ugh, pubic hair, prepubescent. Now, going back to Epstein, how can you blame him? How can you blame Epstein for doing what the system is telling him to do? The system has cultured guys to look for that. Young girls with no pubic hair, all shaved up like pubescent. It's ridiculous. An older woman shaving her downstairs. What's she shaving herself down or waxing herself down below for? What for? She's a mature woman. It's a sign of maturity. It's beautiful. Oh no, she has to look like a young girl. She has to pretend to be a young girl by shaving off all her pubic hair. When Jeffrey Epstein asked for the real thing, he's cussed. Everybody's cussing him now. It's disgusting. He's going with a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old. Have a look in the Bible. Have a look in biblical times. Have a look in Greek society, meant to be the most sophisticated Western society ever been, culture. Young girls, young guys. Homosexuality was normal. The male mentor would be sleeping with the young disciple, the young neophyte who's brought in front of him. That was the norm. Jesus is that, going back to Jesus again, only because it's so ironic, the Son of God, his mum was a child when the Father got hold of him. When his father got hold of Mary, she was a little child, and that's the norm. Muhammad the same, sleeping with young girls, 12, 13, 12, 11. Have a look. It's there. It's norm. It was the norm in those days. Who would want a defiled woman? That was the mentality of those days. Why would you want an older lady who's had loads of sex? She's got loads of mental scarring from all the relationships that didn't work. That's damaged goods, so to speak. They want a nice virgin, a clean one, a blank slate, so they can imprint her. Not have her already imprinted coming to them with all their baggage and everything. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Why would you want that? Look at all the trouble that relationships bring now, because people are meeting mature women that have had maybe 20 partners before. That's what kind of MOT is that, or service history? Imagine you've had 20 broken relationships, all horrible, all tempestuous, all turbulent. Why would you want that person? You've got loads of unpacking of all that baggage to do when you meet that person. Imagine you've met someone that had 20 partners, 20 turbulent relationships before they came to you. They're going to be all over the place emotionally, and that's what happens. That's what is happening. That's why they break up so quickly, and that's why people are going on Hinge and they're desperate. They can't find anybody worthy of being with. They're all messed up goods. So they all end up on Hinge, and then it even increases the problem more, because now you've got 100 partners now. You're sleeping so quickly. Fast sex is called. Fast fashion, fast sex. Hinge is fast sex. Tinder is fast sex. You've got fast fashion, where trends change every week now. Instead of every 2 years, you've got trend changes that happen every week. That's fast fashion to get you to consume more. Same with sex. Everything's become fast. Fast food, fast fashion, fast sex. More partners, more experiences, more experiences, more experiences, more experience. Not no depth, superficial. Bang, bang, wham, next one. Bang, bang, wham, next one. Imagine that person when they come to you. They've had 100 guys they've slept with. 100. 200, and the guys as well. 200 women they've slept with. No depth, nothing, never connected. Imagine what kind of mind that person is, what kind of energy field that person is within. See? So you can understand the people of old. They wanted someone who was fresh. They don't want some old, stale, mashed up business with all kinds of stuff going on. They want someone fresh, clean, virginal. That's the person you choose as your wife. Sorry, it sounds disgusting, but it's both ways. It's man and woman now. They're both defiled. The man is a dog and the woman is a bitch. And they've slept with hundreds before they come to you. They're not fit for relationship, I would say.
I mean, it's. I want to get back to Epstein, because you've gone all over the place in this. I understand. Yeah. I want to get back to that, but I mean, from my own experience, I used to feel like hard done by, because I was a virgin when I got married, and I was 25.
It's lovely.
I was still a virgin,
That's
right?
how it should be.
And so is my wife.
That's
right?
how it should be.
And but now I look back on it, I avoided so many problems that could have come about had I been promiscuous.
Imagine.
But I wanted to come back to Epstein because I think the main point that we've made here is that we've kind of gone all over the place with this, but is the hypocrisy, and nobody's talking about the fact that the problem here, the problem is the underlying culture, right, which is so shocking and problematic. You know, all the porn. Think of all the porn, the billions of guys that have been subjected to all this porn with all these women that have shaven their
all shaved.
all of them.
In fact,
right?
It's a fetish to look at porn with women who've got pubic hair. You'd have to select that in the category. You'd have to put in, that's how crazy it's become. You'd have to put in natural body hair or pubic hair as a category. And it would be now seen as a fetish. It's seen as a fetish. People would think you're weirdo. Ugh. Why do you want to see a woman with pubic hair? Ugh. And the women as well. Ugh, to their friend. Why would you want a guy with body hair? With chest hair? Ugh. It's a fetish now. That's how twisted it's become. So you can imagine Epstein's just following what the system has programmed us to do.
To be fair,
he's looking for young girls.
He is, and we don't know what he actually did. And he was, I'm sure he was very abusive. And
well, you can't say that because the evidence is not.
Okay,
there.
we don't know. We don't know what he did, but it doesn't really. It doesn't really matter. But this is not about him. This is about the idea that he is he is a victim.
He's a victim.
He's a victim of the system and a victim of the culture. And what he was doing, right? I'm sure there are billions of men who have now been programmed to be on the lookout for young girls.
But don't forget
why
I went off on a tangent.
Sorry?
Don't forget why I went off on that tangent is to show the picture that it was, or show the, just to paint a picture that it was the norm before. It was the norm. It is the norm to want young women for older guys. It was the norm. You can look in history. It's never been the norm to go for an older woman. Never. It's been the norm to go for a younger woman, a virgin. That's what it is. It's always been that. So don't forget that. It's not the system has messed us up. The system is just pointing back to how it was before. No, but it's artificially engineered now. You've got older women, which is ridiculous. Older women shaved below. What for? When there is a version of that, which is a natural girl who hasn't got pubic hair. If you must have the clean one, that's the original clean one. You're trying to engineer an artificial version. An older woman who's probably slept with 200, but to make her look clean and virginal, you shave her pubic hair off. And that is meant to do the job, to fool you, because it does, because it's appealing to your primal urge, which is for a young one, is for a clean one. That's why it works. Why don't men complain and say, this is, I don't want a woman with a shave down below. It's horrible. It makes her look immature. They don't. They love it. They lap it up because it's appealing to a primal urge in us, which is to get someone who is clean and new and virginal. So you can imprint her for the first time. That's really what the male ego wants. Control, power. And you get that from a young, that's what Epstein's getting from it. But that's what all women are. All women are taken advantage of. Just because it's Jeffrey Epstein, there's women who've been taken there on Hinge. They'll tell you.
Of course.
All of our children have been taken advantage of if they've had boyfriends. Because every boyfriend that comes to them has not been screened. They're not gentlemen, these young guys. They're worse than Jeffrey Epstein. Look at all these guys on telly that have made a career out of grooming girls. What's his name? Hickey Tocky or whatever his name is. Mixed race guy. He's a celebrity on YouTube. He's not hiding like Epstein. He's doing it out on the front. He's telling you, I just took her and banged her. I just took her back. She was really nice. I took her to the hotel room and banged her and had her up the arse. This is a TikTok and YouTube star, so-called. No one's saying he's having him up in court. He's a predator. He's a predator. Yeah. He's a complete predator. He does it all day long, him and his mates. And they've got a whole YouTube channel based on that. And they film it. They go to Ibiza. The film's running as they're doing it. They're chatting up girls. They're taking their number. They're taking them back to the hotel. They bang them. And then they chuck them. Next one, please. And they talk to them like that. Yeah, here's a tart over here. Oh, these tarts are nice. Look, have a go over her. Go, pick her up, Joe. And they go and they're laughing between each other, doing it. Real time. On the screen for everybody. They're tuning the young guys in. They're the ones who are doing the harm. You don't even know what Jeffrey Epstein's done. We don't know anything about Jeffrey Epstein's life, apart from what's put on the telly. But we do know what he's doing. HT Tiki or whatever his name is. He's there online. You can find him. All the young guys know him. He's a mentor for all the young guys. He's a guru of pickup. Those are the guys who are doing the damage. They're the ones. But the camera doesn't go on them. That's what I'm saying. They all go to Jeffrey Epstein. The one you don't know what he's done. It's all rumor. Baby eating. It's rumor. This guy, you know what he's doing. He's telling you himself what he's doing. I'm intending to bang as many girls as possible. That's their agenda. That's their raison d'etre. They get up every day with the intention to bang as many girls as bang them. Not to make relationship, to bang them and chuck them. Next one, please. That's it. To me, they're the criminals. They're the ones. But nobody puts the spotlight on them. They've got success and fame and being paid heaps. He's making loads of money out of his channel. Heaps. I'll get the proper name so I can add it on afterwards because I've forgotten. But it's something Tiki. The young guys who are listening to this will know who he is because they all know him.
Yeah, and I just want to, I cannot let any of these podcasts go by without, hammering the message back home is that if anyone listening to this decides they want to have a child, that's what they're throwing them into. That's the arena, right? They'll either be the TikToky chap, right, and be abusing people, or they'll be the victims,
or they'll be the victims,
or they'll be the addicts or porn addicts, or God all knows what, and they'll be, they'll be subject to this culture's, shaving and young women, all that crap that we've been speaking about. That's what they'll be subject to. So if you want to have kids, you need to get yourself, in my opinion, to a psychiatrist and get yourself medicated, because you must be completely crazy to want to bring a human being into this kind of thing. Why would you want that?
It's equivalent to having a child, right? In the ancient times, you're poor and you have a child, and you know before you have the child that the only way the child is going to be living as a gladiator and going to be thrown into the arena. That's it. But yet you go ahead because he may be able to fight his way to freedom. He may be able to. Imagine. Now, if you can imagine that stark graphic scenario, it's exactly the same. But because we've been programmed not to see the life we're living now as the same thing, it's the same thing. Your child is born. What happens? It goes to a low-level job, low-paid job. That's the same. It has to go in there and fight its way up to the top. It has to fight its way up to the top. It might become a manager of McDonald's. Then from McDonald's management, it learns to do the management. Then it goes to a hotel chain, which is better than McDonald's. And then from the hotel chain, if it does very well and gets to the top, now it can springboard off of that into something else. But it's working its way up to freedom. Financial freedom is what it's trying to work its way up to. Every child, everybody on earth is trying to do that. Elon Musk has been doing it. He's been doing it. He's had a nicer path because he started higher up on the ladder, but it's the same thing. PayPal, then then Tesla, and anything, then a rockets, then he's up on his way. Now batteries, the whole world, electric battery and car, he's going to trillionaire, the first trillionaire. He's worked his way out to freedom. That's it. Everyone's trying to do the same thing. Everyone's thrown into the arena. It's a capitalist system. It's a dog-eat-dog system. It's the same as the ancient one, where you were thrown into the arena to fight your way out. It's the same thing. It's just finance now. But it's exactly the same. It does kill you. If you don't make the money, you are killed, finished. You either commit suicide through the pressure, or you end up on the trash heap with nothing. And all ulcers in your stomach, where you tried so hard and you're not really the right animal for it. You can't do it. Many children like that. They end up with ulcers midlife because they can't do it properly. Or you're a trader and you're under tremendous stress and you break that way. Take loads of cocaine to keep going, and then the weight of that breaks you. Finished. So it's the same. It's no different. So that's what Danny said. Why would you do it? Why in your right mind could you do that? A child you're meant to love, you throw them into an arena to be mangled. Doesn't make any sense at all.
No doubt this particular podcast will provoke some thoughts. You can put them in the description or whatever, in the comments section.